Coming up on Chapman News, a murder-suicide down the street from our campus. We have the story from neighbors, Orange police, and the man who lost both of his parents to this tragedy.
Plus, a local cafe that's been robbed 3 times in less than 9 months. Chapman News spoke to the owners of the family-run business.
And in studio with us today is the Executive Director of the Musco Center of the Arts, Richard Bryan. You're watching Chapman News. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Lauren Nowicki.
And I'm Molly Casey. Let's get started with our top stories. A murder-suicide investigation began Wednesday evening after the Orange Police Department received a 911 call from a resident who had found his 2 neighbors dead inside their home. The neighbor had entered the home of Robert and Sharon Gordon on behalf of relatives wishing to check in on the couple.
Flying down the street, pulled into Bob and Sharon's driveway, and officers exited and ran up the house. So we're like, what? Oh my gosh, what's going on? The longer we didn't see them, the more concerned we became. And then when Robbie came driving up and ran up the driveway, we all just gave a collective groan. It was like, oh my God, something's happened.
Police confirmed Thursday evening that Gordon had shot himself and strangled his wife and then shot inside of his own home in Orange Park. Gordon's son, NASCAR driver Robbie Gordon, spoke out during the investigation, describing his devastation and remembering his father as the man who inspired his racing career.
Obviously, we're grieving over the loss of my dad, Bob, and his wife, Sharon. You know, I grew up on this property my whole life. I learned everything about motorsports out of this little tiny barn over here. I just want to say I'm so sad and I can't believe it. And there will be, the truth will come out what went down there. And personally, I will explain it to you once the coroner tells me I can.
The Gordons are a 3-generation racing family. Bob made his fame racing off-road. Robbie is the rare driver who enjoyed success in both NASCAR and Indy racing.
Drivers on the 91 freeway can expect a shift in traffic tonight due to construction of the 91 express lanes. A spokesman for the Orange County Transportation Authority says that the express lanes will be down for 10 consecutive weekends as crews replace asphalt for the first time in 20 years. Construction will take place on the 55 freeway for a 10-mile stretch of toll roads. Motorists are advised to use alternate routes, including the I-10, 57, and 60 freeways. You can view the construction schedule with updates at octa.net.
Orange County Council mogul Charlie Zhang has been named Entrepreneur in Residence by Concordia University Irvine's Business School. Zhang is the founder of the Pick Up Sticks restaurant chain based in Laguna Hills. People chosen to be the Entrepreneur in Residence at Concordia must be Christian business leaders who have successfully started their own company, and Zhang was a perfect fit. At the university, Zhang's roles will include being a mentor and counselor for business students, guest lecturing both undergrad and grad classes, and mentoring students of the business fraternity.
2 burglaries at a new Orange cafe would reasonably cause the residents, customers, and the owners to be angry. But at Rekindle Cafe, the reaction has been surprising. Evan Rani has the story.
3 break-ins in just over a year is hardly a welcome to the community, but for Rekindle Cafe, it's been their reality.
It doesn't matter whether you have the upscale alarm system or you have the high-end cameras on steroids. Creatures of habit, a crook is still going to break in. They're still going to do what they want to do to get what they got to get.
So with last Saturday's latest break-in came resilience as the recovery process began.
We get some boards and we board it back up and call the glass company, and he orders the glass, and then 3 days later glass comes out, puts it back in.
And what started off as wooden boards to cover broken glass turned into inspirational messages.
They felt the need to start a positive page on our wood that was so ugly hanging in the door and make everything positive. So when we looked at the wood, we saw all these wonderful sayings on how much they appreciate us being in Orange, and they're all so wonderful.
The cafe has been a success since its opening in March with over 150 positive Yelp reviews, and owner Rebecca Bates tells us the support is immense.
Ultimately, it hit home to them too, because this is their place too. It's not just ours, it's theirs too, so it hit home to them.
From Orange, Evan Nurani, Chapman News.
Rebecca Bates and her husband opened Rekindle Cafe in March. Rekindle is located on the corner of Tustin and Walnut Avenue in Orange.
2 people were stabbed last night within a half-mile of each other in a few miles northwest of the happiest place on earth around 8 p.m. The victims were a 32-year-old man and a 30-year-old woman, both found in front of a Holiday Inn. According to Anaheim police, preliminary reports indicate that both people were stabbed by the same suspect. The assailant is described as a 20 to 30-year-old man weighing 220 to 240 pounds. If you have any information, you're urged to call the Crime Stoppers hotline.
This Saturday is Constitution Day, which celebrates the anniversary of the signing of the U.S. Constitution, and Chapman found a way to participate. The Young Americans for Liberty, a libertarian-based club on campus, handed out many constitutions at the Student Involvement Fair on Wednesday. The group believes that the government should be based on the principles of the Constitution and that this upcoming holiday provided the perfect opportunity to spread the word. Now, here with us in the studio, we have the current executive director of the Musco Center, Richard Bryant.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us in studio today. The Musco Center has been an incredible new center on our campus, and for those who don't know, it is the second biggest performing arts center in the county. What more can you tell us about the center?
The Musco Center for the Arts, the Maribel and Paul Musco Center for the Arts is really crown jewel of Chapman University. It's an extraordinary building. The Los Angeles Times has just characterized it as one of the best in the West in terms of acoustics. And we're just now starting into our inaugural season. We opened last March the 19th, and we ran during the close of the academic year. And now we have about 90 events coming up during this current academic year.
Are there any events that you would suggest that our Chapman community really focus on trying to get to?
Well, all of them, obviously. But, you know, it's built for the College of Performing Arts. About a third of the performances are academic performances, student performances. And it's very much our mandate to make that the first priority. And once those dates have been set, we are working with other leading organizations around Southern California, like the LA Opera and the Philharmonic Society of Orange County, Backhouse Dance, and we have these affiliates. And so we're growing relationships with them, and they'll be integrated into the academic programs as well. And then we have visiting artists and companies who are exemplars of performing arts from throughout the nation and around the world. And finally, we have a program we call Community Entanglement, and we're doing festivals and events that are very much like the surrounding communities around Chapman, the Vietnamese community, the Korean community, the Hawaiian community, the Persian community, the Mexican-American community. And so all that's surfacing in this new wonderful facility that has 1 foot on Chapman and 1 foot in the rest of the neighboring area.
And is there anything that you really hope to see for, you know, the Musco Center playing a role in Chapman in the future?
Well, yes. We want everybody to come, everyone to be there, and we're doing a number of performances that are specifically related to the Chapman experience. We also have a lot of other departmental use besides the College of Performing Arts. And so if you can join us for the visiting artists and companies or the COPA events or the other departments of the university producing events, it really is a spectacular world-class environment for teaching, learning, seeing, hearing, you know, what's best in the performing arts. And, you know, Chapman is a creative place right here, this television studio and the film school and the College of Performing Arts and now the Musco Center and the sciences. Those are all creative fields. And Chapman's really stepping into a leadership role and being recognized for that, not only in the West Coast, but throughout the United States.
And one last question. You've opened up so many centers for the arts around the country, including the Sergestrom Center in Costa Mesa. What makes the Musco Center different?
Well, you know, we've got a stage that rivals the stage at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in terms of the proscenium opening and also the first Sergestrom Center that was built. But we only have 1,000 seats, and both of those rooms have 3,000 seats. So you've got the same stage capability that we have in those places, but it's very intimate. And the acoustics are just as good as it gets for natural acoustics, so it's spectacular.
Well, thank you so much for being on our show with us. It was great learning so much about the new Musco Center.
And coming up, the new iPhone was announced, and it was not met with cheers, but with confusion.
And Chapman students are gathering together to write letters to the City of Orange Chief of Police regarding his controversial Orientation Week speech on sexual assault.
If the rain got you down this week, keep your chin up because there's lots of sunshine on the way. I have the weather for you coming up after the break, so hang tight. You're watching Chapman News.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Take your life to new heights. Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead. Follow your dreams. Chapman University. History, philosophy, peace studies, languages. Study abroad and explore the world. Become a global citizen. The Wilkinson College at Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
Welcome back to Chapman News. Since Chief Casala's response in the Panther to his orientation comments last week, a new student campaign has started on campus. Megan Harger has the story.
Chief Casala's comments about sexual assault at orientation, there's been a major uproar of response from the Chapman community.
I remember standing there and looking at him and looking at everybody that was around me and just going, is this actually happening?
But one student has decided to take actions against these comments. Since Casala's response to the Panther article stating that he supports patriarchal values, one junior has created a letter campaign in hopes to send him a message.
A lot of people wanted to do something and they just didn't know how. I was kind of able to take that next step and realize we have the opportunity to do something here. So that's where the whole letter writing campaign kind of stemmed from, because I was really sick of just posting on Facebook and getting a bunch of likes and shares.
I think a lot of times that's really important to see that, not only is this group of people speaking out, also everyone else is too. So I hope that we really get a huge amount of participation from everyone on campus.
So when you take the time to write something down, it can be a little bit more controlled, but also the physical act of delivering a huge bag of letters is going to be so satisfying to know that these students took the time to voice their opinions and be active citizens, not even just on campus, but in our community. Hopefully this kind of creates some type of internal conversation at OPD where they can openly say, hey, we've had these feelings, but it's time for us to change because the future students that are coming to us with sexual assault cases really, really need that support.
If you would like to get involved with the campaign, contact Megan Hertz-Jansen or search Letters to Tom Casala on Facebook. In Orange, this has been Megan Harger, Chapman News.
Megan and her team will be collecting the letters over the next few weeks to later deliver to the Orange Police Department.
This fall season, the University of California, Irvine is debuting the first public college esports arena in the country. The university, already known for their three-peat National Champion League Legends team, has just completed the construction of a $250,000 esports arena. The 3,500 square foot facility is equipped with 80 custom-built gaming PCs, all the latest esports titles, and webcasting or viewing stations. Along with the new facility, UCI is providing 10 new scholarships for esports athletes valued at $15,000 each. The arena opens on September 23rd and will function as the official team facility for the UCI League of Legends team and is open to the public and students for $4 per hour fee.
The iPhone 7 and 7 Plus officially went on sale this morning at stores across the nation. But though the demand for the new phone is high, some customers find the phone's shortcomings too hard to ignore.
Most people got their first glance of the iPhone 7 last Wednesday when Apple showed it off to the world for the first time. But for the folks at Techno Buffalo, the announcement of the new phone was already old news.
Sent to us allegedly from one of Apple's factories in Shenzhen, China, we have a dummy unit of the iPhone 7, and it looks about what we'd expect from recent models.
The Irvine-based tech news company received a manufacturing prototype of the new iPhone from a Chinese source over a month ago, and videos and posts on their website featuring the phone garnered serious internet buzz. But even though most in the tech community knew what to expect for the new iPhone before it was even officially announced, it didn't make all the changes, or lack thereof, any easier to accept. Andrew Evers, an editor and cinematographer at Techno Buffalo, was at the Apple event in San Francisco last week. He says the removal of the headphone jack and a lack of new design resulted in a lot of criticism from tech press.
This time around, there were a lot more leaks than normal. Everybody kind of knew what the phone was going to look like, and there weren't really any drastic design changes this time around. But everybody was still clapping and responding over enthusiastically, which I think is kind of funny. And I almost feel like Apple places people inside of the audience to help spur everyone to start clapping after they announce every little thing, because everybody there is just 100% on the bandwagon.
The tech community isn't the only group not impressed with the new iPhone. Plenty of average consumers are making their voices heard online, saying that the new iPhone is not worth their money.
Bring back the headphone jack. Can't believe they removed it. Okay, tone it down. It's still astounding. Look how they improved it.
Despite a mixed response from the tech community and consumers alike, Apple is still predicted to break records with their new iPhone 7 and 7 Plus sales. Analysts are predicting that the company is going to be selling over 13 million new iPhones this weekend alone. Reporting from Irvine, California, I'm Robert Rosenfeld for Chapman News.
A local food pantry faced an unexpected challenge this week.
Rachel Cohn is live in Orange with the story.
Thanks, Molly. I'm out here in Orange outside of Mary's Kitchen, where a fire broke out at its facility just last week. After many days of feeding the homeless, the kitchen suffered damage as flames spread throughout the back area of the property. Its refrigerators and freezers, usually filled with meats and other goods, were burned along with the wooden patio. Firefighters stopped the flames before they reached the main kitchen. But the people at Mary's refused to slow down. The pantry's hot food is coming from the OC Rescue Mission this week, while volunteers bring the kitchen back to cleanliness standards. CEO and president of the board, Gloria Suisse, says the pantry hasn't missed a single day of feeding the homeless.
I think it's a blessing in disguise. It gave us a chance. We're really just going to go through and clean out a lot of stuff from the round and everything. And everybody was so quick to respond.
And if feeding the community after a fire wasn't enough, Mary's Kitchen is following through with its monthly Outreach Day, held this Saturday right here in this parking lot outside Mary's Kitchen on Struck Avenue. Attendees can get their feet washed, their hair cut, listen to live music, pick up new clothes, and even enjoy 2 fresh meals. Breakfast is being served at 9 a.m. and lunch at 12:45 p.m. Reporting from Orange, Rachel Cohen, Chapman News. Back to you.
Thanks, Rachel.
It's great seeing the community come together for this. A Long Beach father found his baby and partner dead at their home on Tuesday. Charlene and Shane Ventanilla suffered multiple stab wounds to their torsos. Police say Charlene Ventanilla killed her 8-week-old baby and then herself. Detectives interviewed neighbors who huddled and prayed outside. Charlene and Shane Ventanilla were both declared dead on the scene. They are survived by Shanae's father and 2-year-old brother.
College tuition is no longer a concern for 21-year-old Savvy Shields. On Sunday night, Savvy, who was Miss Arkansas, was crowned Miss America and walked away with a $50,000 scholarship for college.
Miss America is Miss Arkansas.
I have earned over $90,000 in scholarship money through this organization, and because of that, I can graduate college debt-free, absolutely.
She came out on top of the other 51 contestants with her jazz routine that won her a preliminary talent award earlier that week. For Miss California, she made the top 10. The Miss America pageant is held every year in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and provides scholarships to women across the nation to further their education. There are 4 Chapman students who hold local titles and competed in this year's Miss California pageant. If you are interested in becoming a contestant in this year's Miss City of Orange pageant, you can visit MissCityofOrange.com.
Well, Molly, I don't know about you, but the one day of rain that we had this week was a great surprise for Southern California.
It was such a great break from the heat.
I hope we get to see it sometime soon, and Nicole Renard is in the Weather Center with this week's forecast.
Thanks so much, Lauren. If you thought fall meant cozy sweaters and chilly weather, well, think again. Although it's September, the sunshine is out and is sending its rays down on all the oranges. Today it's 74 degrees with no chance of rain. It's the perfect chance to get outside and take a walk with a friend. If you look at Orange County right now, you'll notice that the temperatures are pretty much all in the mid-70s. It tends to dip a little bit when you head out to the beach, Newport and Laguna. So if you're going out there, maybe bring a light jacket if you tend to get cold. But I'm zooming out to look at the rest of Southern California. It's going to be about 74 degrees in Santa Barbara this weekend, 80 degrees in Anaheim, 70 in Oceanside. A little bit chillier in Big Bear, it's going to be 70 degrees, and a whopping 100 degrees in Palm Springs. So if you are craving that sunshine, you know where to head. There is no chance of a brisk fall day there. We're going to take a look at our 5-day forecast. It's going to be hot this weekend. It'll be high of a 79 today and in the high 80s the rest of this weekend. It'll drop a little bit in the start of next week. You'll notice that in the mornings it'll be partly cloudy, a little bit of fog, but it will clear up by the afternoon and you will have lots of sunshine. Tonight is the fall concert, so if you're heading out there, it's going to be a warm one. So ditch that sweater and get that pumpkin spice latte with some ice. I'm about to go get one of those for me actually right now, but before I do, let's take a look and see what's going on in the Best Campus Sports Show with Michael. Michael, what have you got?
On the Best Campus Sports Show, we'll take a look at how Chapman fared against Whittier on the pitch and how Los Angeles fared against San Francisco on the gridiron. All that and more coming up.
Odds of becoming an astronaut, 1 in 13,200,000. Odds of being struck by lightning, 1 in 576,000. Odds of dating a supermodel, 1 in 88,000. Odds of bowling a perfect game, 1 in 11,500. Odds of being trapped in an elevator, 1 in 24,528. Odds of catching a ball at a major league game, 1 in 563. Odds of an injury from shaving, 1 in 6,585. Odds of tripping while texting, 1 in 10. Odds of getting cancer in your lifetime, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women.
It's up to us
To change the odds for our generation.
for the ones we love, for our future.
If you don't like the odds, stand up. Stand up to cancer.
Emergencies and disasters happen with little or no warning and often occur while you are away from home. Be ready for emergencies by registering your alternate phone numbers, cell phones, and email addresses at alertoc.com. You will receive alerts when an emergency occurs near your workplace or neighborhood.
Welcome to the Best Campus Sports Show. I am Michael Hofling, and let's get right into it. It's been 21 years since the Rams represented Los Angeles. They opened their 2016 campaign on Monday night against the San Francisco 49ers. And let's just say things didn't go exactly according to plan for Los Angeles. Let's take a look at the highlights. Late in the first, it's Carlos Hyde who gets the handoff from Blaine Gabbert, an 11-yard rush to open the scoring in this one, 7-0. And from that point on, it was all 49ers defense. Here is Case Keenum, who is starting over Jared Goff. An interception thrown to Navarro Bowman, first of his 2 in the game. Sean Drone later in the game gets the second score for the 49ers, a shorter rush, but it's 14-0 49ers. The Niners defense held strong, holding star running back for the Rams to Todd Gurley to 47 yards. And later in the game, Carlos Hyde, his second score of the game, to finish off the scoring. His number 28, Niners score 28-0. Things don't get much easier for the Rams as they host their division rival Seattle, the Seahawks, for their home opener at LA Coliseum Sunday at 1 p.m. Each week, Chapman University recognizes an athlete who went above and beyond for their team. Reporter Andrea Kern has more with this week's Athlete of the Week.
This week's Athlete of the Week is men's soccer player Elliot Brond. The junior scored a pair of goals to lead Chapman to a 2-1 win over Occidental College this past Saturday at Wilson Field. Elliot, who is in his second year with the Panthers, has his eyes set on the ultimate prize.
You know, our biggest ambition and for us as a team is to make the SCIAC tournament and hopefully to win the SCIAC conference. So that's our expectation or our ambition for this year.
A native of England, Elliot moved to the United States for college, where he attended California State University Fullerton before transferring to Chapman. While the geography has changed for Elliot, his love for the game has remained the same.
You know, transferring in was a challenge. It was I was dropped into a group of new guys that I hadn't met before, so there was challenges that came with that. But you know, the guys here made me feel at home straight away. There wasn't kind of a period where I wasn't comfortable. As soon as I got here, I felt part of the team, and that really helped me to play well from the day I got here.
To catch Elliot and the rest of Chapman's men's soccer in action, come by Wilson Fields Monday, September 19th for the next home game against Pomona Pitzer. From Chapman University, this has been Andrea Current, Chapman News.
We look forward to that next home game, but right now let's take a look back at how Elliot Brund and the rest of the team did on Wednesday against Whittier. The Chapman men's soccer team was off to a great start, getting shot after shot, but that was just the problem. They weren't going in. Elliot Brund and Lorenzo Belson had 5 shots each, out shooting their opponents 13-7 in the first half, but the score was still 0-0, unable to capitalize on their opportunities. Then early in the second half, Whittier senior James Suri gets the first goal, and Chapman had to fight, and fight they did. They got a lot more opportunities in the second half, but some great blocks and saves by the Whittier goalie kept Chapman at bay and off the scoreboard. Their best chance came on this PK from senior Sam Rudick, but the goalie once again comes up huge and makes a number of saves. Whittier would go on to get another goal in garbage time and steal this one from the Panthers 2-0. We caught up with Coach Carrillo after the game.
A little more extra effort. A little extra effort in that attacking third and getting the spots. I don't think we got the spots. I think we were there, but I don't think we got too many really good scoring opportunities because they were in the spots first, basically. We're playing well with whatever we have on the field right now, you know. So but it's good to have some of the other guys that have been with us for a while that haven't been able to play. So hopefully get a little bit of rest, get some of those guys back eventually. But like I said, we played well enough to win today. You know that.
Coach Carrillo went on to state that getting rest will be the most important thing for his team before the upcoming games. And speaking of upcoming games, you can watch your Panthers volleyball team take on Claremont later today. They're ranked number 2 in the nation. The women's soccer team will take on Redlands just a day later. And the men's side of that get their first shot at conference redemption when they take on Pomona Pitzer this Monday. And with that, why don't we hand the ball off to Talia Hubble with entertainment. Talia?
Coming up, we've made our predictions for the Emmy Awards this weekend, and a special guest is coming to Chapman tonight. I'm Talia Hubble. All that and more coming up next.
Stand up for what's right. Chapman University. Passion, perseverance, teamwork, integrity. Create value in the world. The School of Law at Chapman University. Lead. Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Chemistry, physics, computational science, biology. Start doing research in your first year. Soar to new heights. The Schmidt College of Science at Chapman University. Explore.
Tonight is Chapman's annual fall concert. Are you going, Molly?
I sure am. I'll actually be interviewing Bauer for next week's Chapman's News Entertainment segment.
Well, it sounds like a great start to your weekend, and Talia knows of more events in store for this weekend.
Talia, what's going on this weekend in entertainment news?
Thank you, Lauren and Molly. Last Friday, hundreds of Chapman students were in a fit of laughs as actress and comedian Nicole Byer performed some stand-up comedy. Chapman University's program board hosted Byer at the Musco Center for the Arts. Cameras weren't allowed inside the event, but Chapman News caught up with the UPB chair to get the scoop on what it takes to put on large-scale celebrity events on campus.
A lot of time and a lot of planning. Things like Leslie Odom Jr., we began planning in March or April, and then Nicole we contacted in June. So it does take several months to get these people to campus, and most importantly, it takes just the right moments. We need to know who these people are and connect with them at the right time, and we were so fortunate enough to get Nicole Byer, Leslie Odom Jr., and our fall concert artist Bauer, and we're so excited to see what they bring to Chapman and the community that comes together to celebrate them. So.
Over 700 students attended, more than double the number UPB expected. UPB and Chapman Radio are proud to present the annual fall concert featuring Bauer with support from Trademark. The City National Grove of Anaheim's doors open at 8 p.m. tonight, so make sure you don't miss the biggest concert of the year. It's a competition for the best of the best in TV this weekend. The 68th Primetime Emmy Awards are taking place this Sunday. Jimmy Kimmel is hosting the Emmys for the second time, but among the nominees, HBO is coming in on top as the network with the most nominees, 94 to be exact. Game of Thrones leads the pack with 23 nominations, and FX is right behind for The People vs. O.J. Simpson American Crime Story with 22 nominations. We have some predictions of our own here at Chapman News. A few of our Emmy picks include ABC's Blackish, winning for Outstanding Comedy Series, but HBO's Veep runs a close second. We also pick Anthony Anderson from Blackish, winning for Lead Actor in a Comedy. As for Lead Actress in a Comedy, we predict Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who's already a 4-time Emmy winner, snagging the win again for Veep. But we can't completely rule out Ellie Kemper for her performance in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix. For Outstanding Drama Series, we predict Game of Thrones will sweep the competition once again, and we really hope Maggie Smith wins, finally, as Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series for Downton Abbey. We think the award show will be one you can't miss, but you can be the judge. The 2016 Emmy Awards will air this Sunday, September 18th on ABC. The third time is the charm for Renee Zellweger. The actress is making her comeback because Bridget Jones is back, and she's pregnant, and she doesn't know who the father is. The latest installment of the franchise is hitting theaters, and Bridget is up to her old shenanigans. She's landed herself in another love triangle. She falls for American dating site mogul Jack Quant, played by Patrick Dempsey, and later rekindles an old flame with Mark Darcy, played by Colin Firth. Unfortunately, Hugh Grant is sitting this one out. When Bridget finds out she's pregnant, she's on the hunt for her baby daddy. Emma Thompson also brings laughs as Bridget's hilarious OBGYN. The film is full of charm, wit, and everything we love about Bridget Jones. The best part, it hits theaters today. That's your latest in entertainment. I'm Talia Hubble. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Talia. And finally, the term flying fish took on a new meaning for a Philadelphia woman over Labor Day weekend when she was hit in the face by a 5-pound catfish that, quote, fell from the sky. Lisa Lowbury and a friend were spending Labor Day weekend at the Philadelphia Museum of Art when the fish dropped from the sky. Only suffering from minor cuts and bruises, Lowbury says it was one of the strangest things that's ever happened to her.
Many are assuming that the 16-inch fish was dropped by a flying bird above.
That's all we have for you today. You can log on to our website, chapmannews.tv, to see all of our episodes, Chapman Newsy bios, and top headlines.
And make sure you also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Chapman News, Twitter and Instagram at Chapman News, and YouTube at youtube.com/Chapman News.
Thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
See you later.